Hey there, and welcome back to Northwest Craftsman. If you've been around for any amount of time, you've probably heard that the foundation is the most important part of any project, whether that's woodworking, building a home, doing a work project, for project management, anything. Setting up the foundation for your project is one of the most important pieces because it allows the rest of the project to succeed. Within woodworking, dimensioning your lumber is like the foundation of your project because it allows all of your dimensions to be exact, all of your faces to be parallel or perpendicular where they're required to be, and it gets everything in your project off to a good start. Today we're going to be talking about how to dimension your lumber and just getting ready for the next project. All right, here we go. When you're purchasing your lumber, there's a couple of different states that you can get it in. You can get it either rough sawn or fully dimensioned. Now, fully dimensioned lumber is one of the most expensive options that you can get, and they probably don't have the option that you're looking for thickness, width, or otherwise. So if you're trying to go the cheapest route and the most customizable route, you want to go get rough sawn lumber, and then you can dimension it to exactly the size and shape that you want. When you're purchasing lumber at Home Depot, or a similar hardware store, you get something that falls in between where you've got a roughly dimensioned and roughly square piece of wood, but it's not very precise, nor can you be guaranteed that these guys are going to be parallel or perpendicular as they need to be. So dimensioning can take both rough sawn and this kind of middle of the road lumber into a fully dimensioned piece before you start your project. There are 4 primary steps to dimensioning your lumber. The first one is to get a single flat face. The second one is to get a perpendicular face to that flat face. Third step is to make sure that the opposite faces to those now flat faces are parallel. And then the fourth one is in kind of the entire process to make sure that you're getting it down to the exact dimensions, length, width, and height that you would like it to get to. So we're going to go ahead and get that started, and we're going to see what each one of those steps looks like. Alright, so here it is finished. Once it went through that entire process, we flattened the one side, made the other side perpendicular, made the following faces parallel, and then made sure that it all came down to the right dimensions in the end. Just to show you guys, I have my machinist rule at 6 inches, so it shows at 9 1/4, but this guy is 3 1/4 inches thick on the dot. And if we rotate it to the other direction, you can see that this side is also 3 1/4 inches on the dot. So as a part of the dimensioning process, like we mentioned, you also get it flat, and I could use something that's a little bit longer than this, but what I'm looking for is light coming through, and I don't see any light coming in underneath this on any of the sides. So this I would consider a successfully dimensioned piece of lumber. One of the things to keep in mind is this process was a little bit easier because my planer is set up well, and so it was able to take the first face and get it flat. I also happen to start with a fairly straight piece of lumber as well. If you've got a lot of bow or if you've got a lot of warp, that is a more difficult process to get it dimensional. But the planer did a pretty good job getting it there. Realistically, if you want to do this for a lot of really interesting lumber, you're going to want to get a jointer or get a jointing jig for this. I'm planning on putting together a video in the future to do a jointing jig on this. And what a jointer does, if you're not familiar, is it gets one face perfectly flat, you rotate it 90 degrees, and then you get that one side perpendicular. And then once you have those two faces, you can run it through the planer and get both the following faces to be parallel to the first ones, and bam, you're good. And then you can get it down to the right thickness as well. So I got a little bit lucky with this process, but if you set up your planer well, you'll be able to get quite a ways through that. And yeah, that's just about it. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions about dimensioning your lumber, go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below. If you like the kind of videos that we're producing here at Northwest Craftsman, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And thank you to all the subscribers that are already here and participating in the community. I love seeing you guys around and I love interacting with you. So, all right, thank you guys for joining again. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Have a great one. Bye.